Hello everyone, my name is Sululagi and today I will be presenting my critical learning lesson project on the topic learning theory in education. This presentation focuses on the three major theories of learning. One is behaviorist, cognitive, and sociocultural theory. I will briefly explain the main ideas of each theory, apply them to one learning episode, and finally provide a critical comprehension that highlights how it contributes to effective teaching and learning. In slide number 2, I'll discuss the purpose of the presentation. The purpose of this presentation is to analyze how these three theories explain how students learn and how teachers organize the learning environment, and how these theories can be used together to improve classroom practice. By understanding these theories, teachers can design learning experiences that motivate, engage, and support student success. Section number 1 is the behaviorist learning theory, which is on slide number 3, the overview of behaviorist theory. Let's begin with the behavioral learning theory. This theory focuses on the observable behavior rather than internal thinking. It suggests that learning occurs when there is a change in behavior due to stimulus and response connection. According to B.F. Skinner, learning can be shaped through reinforcement, meaning reward or punishment influence future behavior. Other key contributors include Ivan Pavlovich, known for classical conditioning, and John Watson, who emphasized that human behavior can be trained through environment control. For example, when a teacher praises a student for answering correctly, the praise acts as a reward, reinforcing that behavior to student is likely to repeat it. On this slide number 4, is the application of behaviorist theory. In my selection learning episode, I will use the Year 6 lesson on photosynthesis as an example. The teachers begin the lesson by asking questions and rewarding correct answers with a positive feedback, such as sticker or verbal praise. This reinforcement motivates students to participate actively. Here, the stimulus is the teacher question, the response is the student answer, and the reinforce is the praise and reward. This approach helps in building habit and sustaining motivation, especially when teaching basic facts or new skills that require repetition. Section number 2 is talk about the cognitive learning theory, which is on slide number 5. The overview of cognitive theory. The second theory is the cognitive learning theory, which emphasizes the mental process involved in learning, such as attention, memory, problem solving, and reasoning. Unlike behaviors, cognitive theory argues that learning cannot be understood simply by observing behavior. We must also understand what is happening inside the learner's mind. Jean Piaget explained that the learner builds knowledge through active engagement with their environment, while Jerome Bernard emphasized the importance of discovery learning and scaffolding. Robert Gainey also described the learning as a process involving stages as attention, encoding, storage, and retrieval. Slide number 6 is talk about the application of cognitive theory. In the same science lessons on photosynthesis, The teacher used a diagram to show how plants use sunlight to produce food. Students are guided through each step. Attention is focused on the diagram. Information is encoded through note-taking, stored through class discussions, and later reviewed when they explain the process in their own words. The teacher also used scaffolding techniques such as guiding question and visual aid to help students link new information to what they already know. This supports deep understanding rather than rote memorization. Therefore, cognitive theory helps teachers design lessons that active students' thinking process and promote meaning learning. In section 3, talk about the social cultural learning theory, which is on slide number 7, the overview of cultural theory. The third theory is the social cultural learning theory, developed by Leigh Vygotsky. This theory views learning as a social process that occurs through interaction with others and through the use of cultural tools, especially language. According to Vygotsky, students learn best within their zones of proximal development, or CPD, which means they can achieve more with guidance from a teacher or peer than they can independently. Learning, therefore, happens through collaboration, communication, and participation in cultural practice. On slide number 8 is discussed the application of social cultural theory. Returning to our science example, the teacher organized group activities where students work together to design a simple experiment showing how sunlight affects plant growth. More capable, students support their peers while the teacher provides guidance and feedbacks when needed. Here, learning occurs through social interaction and collaboration. The teachers scaffold learning by asking, promoting questions, and encouraging group discussion, helping students move from guide practice to independent understanding. This approach reflects a Vygotsky belief that social interaction is the foundation of cognitive growth. Section 4 is the critical comparison, which is on slide number 9, comparing the three theories, which each theory offers unique insights into how students learn. Behaviorist theory focuses on observable behavior and is useful for shaping habit through reinforcement, while cognitive theory focuses on the mental process, helping learners build their deep understanding, while lastly is the social theory. Social cultural theory emphasizes social cultural interaction, which support learning through collaboration. However, it also has limitations, like behaviorism may ignore internal thought process. Cognitive theory was overlook the importance of social context, and social cultural theory can be challenging to access individual. Together, they provide a complete picture. Behaviorism explains how habits form, cognitive nation explains how knowledge is perceived, and social cultural theory explains how learning is shared and developed. Section number 5 is the implication for teacher practice, which is on slide number 10, indicating the three theories. In practice, In practice, effective teachers iterate all the three theories. For example, in the science lesson, use behavioristic strategies such as a positive reinforcement to motivate students. Two is the apply of the cognitive strategies by using visual aids, questioning, and concept mapping to promote understanding. While incorporating social cultural strategies by encouraging group work and peer support. By blending these approaches, teachers create a learning environment that motivates students, strengthens comprehension, and builds collaboration. While in slide number 11 is the conclusion. In conclusion, the behaviorist, cognitive, and sociocultural theories each provide variable perspective on how learning occurs. Behaviorism teaches us reinforcement and habit formation, and cognition helps us understand how learners think and process information, and sociocultural theory remind us that learning is deeply connected to social relationship and culture. As a teacher, combining this approach allows us to design engaging, inclusive, and effective learning experience that meet the diverse needs of all learners. That's all, and thank you. And for our last slide, which is slide 12, it's just my reference for PowerPoint presentation. That's all, and